Hello, everyone. This is our Group Three's presentation about product life cycle for Uber Eats. The agenda of the presentation, we will talk about the four stages, the marketing objectives, mix, I'm sorry, competition analysis, and impact of the cultural context and location, as well as the conclusion for the presentation. So the product life cycle is starts from the initiation of the product development all the way to when it's moved away from the racks, and it consists of four stages: the introduction stage, the growth stage, the maturity stage, and the decline stage. Now I'll talk about the marketing objectives pertaining to all of the four stages, but specifically for Uber Eats. So in the introduction stage, the marketing strategy or the marketing objectives should focus on building curiosity around the product, talking to more and more people, creating a buzz. And for that, it is important to partner with the correct kinds of avenues for promotion. So that would be local restaurants, local food influencers. And all of this is important to create brand identity, to be able to stand out when walking into a new region for the product. The second stage is growth. In the growth stage, it is important for the brand to continue building its reputation, to stand out. It's also important to keep innovating and keep improving the product quality during the growth stage, as well as maximizing profits and utilizing strategies to maximize that profit during the growth stage. The next stage is the maturity stage. During this position, it's important to utilize the data and analysis available. So in case of Uber Eats, that would be recognizing when the peak time is, what the preferences are, the dietary preferences, and what the pricing strategy should be. It's also important to focus on customer retention because it's important to get new customers, but also make deals that keep customers to the product. And it's also important to expand market reach during this stage, which is going into newer cities and newer dietary preferences and whatnot. And the last stage is the decline stage. And in that stage, it is important to focus on fine-tuning the pricing strategy or adjusting it or cutting prices as required. Another thing is selective promotion to cut expenses in unnecessary and unwanted promotion strategies. And last but not the least, if needed, it is important to pivot from the existing application, which in case of Uber Eats, if their food delivery wasn't working in a certain area, they could pivot into grocery delivery or partnering in some other way to find a different application for their product.
Well, next up is the marketing mix for the product lifecycle. So in this slide, what we did was we used the 7 P's that constitute the marketing mix, which are the product, price, place, promotion, people, process, and physical evidence, and mapped it onto the 4 stages of the product lifecycle. So initially, when we introduced the Uber Eats application, the main objective of the 7 P's, I'll go one by one. And in terms of the products, we'll emphasize the convenience of the Uber Eats app. In terms of price, we'll offer discounts and promotions. Where will we promote Uber Eats? Mostly in major cities with the high density of drivers, as well as in social media, such as Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Initially, at the introduction phase, we'll have to train the delivery people on how to use the app and how to go through the journey. So pick up, ride, and then all the way to delivery. We'll try to make the process as user-friendly as possible. So we'll try to make the app very user-friendly, and we'll partner with high-quality restaurants in terms of physical evidence. And the growth stage with the Uber Eats app, what we could do is we could expand the restaurant selection. So we'll use way more restaurants. We'll introduce some tiered pricing, and we'll penetrate some new cities, personalize campaigns from the initial data from our introductory phase. We'll start conducting and evaluating performance metrics and KPIs. We'll have to optimize routes for the delivery drivers along with because of the data we got from the introductory phase, and then we're gonna produce some user feedback to optimize the app. During the maturity phase, we're gonna have to do a lot of more innovation and differentiation because the market became more saturated. We'll introduce some more innovative pricing plans, such as a monthly subscription. We'll prioritize partnerships and focus on brand loyalty. We'll encourage feedback, and then we'll integrate some new technology. During the decline phase, unfortunately, every product's going to go through this. But during the decline phase, we're going to have to reduce some costs, make more targeted promotions because of cutthroat competition. We could see that with DoorDash and Grubhub. We start exiting some less profitable markets. This happened, for example, in Oman during in the Middle East. With Uber Eats in the Middle East. We'll have to maintain some positive perception and retain core personnel during this stage. Unfortunately, we're going to have a lot of layoffs, but we're going to have to retain some of our core personnel. We'll have to eliminate some unnecessary steps and introduce some cost-effective strategies, such as in terms of packaging options. Next up, we have my colleague Toby, I believe.
Yeah. So I'm going to talk about how Uber Eats relates to how we can work on like strategies in terms of like our competition. I'm going to start with the first stage, which is the introduction stage. During, like Malvika said, during the introduction stage, there's usually limited competition because the product is new compared to Uber Eats, DoorDash, and other delivery services. They all hit the platform at the same time, which is around the COVID time. So there was definitely competition when they first started. One way to help eliminate competition and make our brand more presentable which is basically doing like the zero delivery fee. Like, I know people like to get things for free, so removing the delivery fee at first just to gain people's attention is one way to beat competition. Also, in terms of growth, the growth stage, this is when everybody else hit the market, but based on statistics, Uber Eats were able to match the competitions because they were doing a lot of discounts, basically just trying to gain people's attention. So releasing coupons out there would help us beat our competition. Then I'm going to talk about the maturity stage. There was the profit, like reduction in sales profit, market shares, and more competition. During the maturity stage, we can become more competitive. Sorry, 1 second. During the maturity stage, the competition becomes more intense. So, and that, DoorDash also stepped up doing the delivery fee, the zero. I know at that point, just finding a way to beat competition will help us in that stage. And then the last stage, which is when a lot of people, the decline stage, which some of the top dogs, like I know here in Texas, we have Favors and stuff. They were not able to keep up with Uber Eats and DoorDash, and they just left the market. But Uber Eats is still surviving tonight. I believe that's still one of the top apps that people use when they order food.
Hi, I'll now talk about the impact of cultural context and location when it comes to Uber Eats across the four product life cycles. So in the first stage, the introduction stage, it is important that Uber Eats focuses on educating the customers about the concept of ordering food through an app and the convenience it offers. In terms of localization, Uber Eats should adapt the market strategy to align with cultural preferences, and this might involve promoting popular local cuisines, partnering with well-known local restaurants, and using language and imagery that resonates with the target audience. Moving on to the growth stage. In the growth stage, cultural context again is very important. In what Uber Eats needs to do is that it needs to, for example, in regions where communal dining is common, Uber Eats could introduce family deals or group discounts. In terms of localization, Uber Eats should continue to tailor the marketing strategy to suit the local taste, and this will involve expanding partnership with popular local eateries and offering promotions which is aligned with cultural events or even holidays. Next slide, please. In the maturity stage, as we learned that the competition becomes intense, it increases, and therefore there is a need for greater differentiation amongst products, right? So how can Uber Eats differentiate itself with respect to cultural context and location? It can involve introducing niche cuisines or specialty dishes to stand out in this crowded market. Another aspect could be focused on brand loyalty and trust, and this can be built by consistently delivering on quality, reliability, and value. In the last stage, that is the decline stage, there is one option available. There are like two options, sorry, available. There is either adaptation or exit, which Uber Eats must need, which Uber Eats will have to decide whether to adapt its strategy to to um, to recultivate interest or to exit the market. And cultural factors such as changing consumer preferences or even economic conditions will influence this decision. In the last aspect, I'll talk about innovation and reinvention. Introducing eco-friendly packaging or partnership with local sustainability initiatives could resonate with environmentally conscious consumers, and it could help prolong the life cycle of the product with respect to this aspect. Next slide, please. So now that we've gone through each of our sections and seen what is the different stages, the different marketing mix, how is it that cultural aspects are there, what are the different competitions. In summary, I'd like to say that adapting the marketing strategy to fit the requirements of the different stages is crucial for success. Secondly, higher rate of competition can actually cause the product life cycle to be longer. And third, cultural context and location significantly shapes each stage of Uber Eats product life cycle. That is all. Thank you.